copy the link. You like my like one or two steps? Can you actually hear me when I'm not in the window? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Didn't know. Wasn't sure. Thought I should look. All right. Let's go in here, and let's go in gaming, and let's go at stream crew. Should I put this somewhere besides gaming? I don't know. Maybe I should have a streams channel. That'd probably be smart, wouldn't it? All right. I have announced it. It's been announced. I think my mic is on in yeah, so they can hear me talking to myself, even though it says starting soon. Perfect. It's the perfect crime. No one will ever know that I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. Enjoy the sound of me typing. Yes, there we go. Okay. Post. I should have pinged you. I should have put at Liz. Oh, well. It's there now.
I'll live.
You'll live? Are you sure? Positive. Is that reverb part of the game? Like, do I sound echoey? Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Let's make it. Hey, it's Airy hit with it. Yeah, Jam, you're going to be hit with an ad. It's called pre-roll. She refreshed. No one wants Subway. No one wants Subway. What is her icon? Oh, right, Liz, there's a thing we can do. There's a thing we can do. I gotta remember how to do it. Stream together. Yes, and share chat. I don't want to use my microphone. Combine chats with your collaborators. Let your communities hang out together. You shared chat. Yeah. Start a shared chat.
Oh no.
What?
Troublemaker.
What's Troublemaker? Ghost. Don't look to your right. Don't want viewer call in.
Thank you. Put it on Blue Sky.
Collaboration for this stream. Right. And we want to add invite guest Liz. Okay, you should be getting a knock/invite or something for a shared stream. I have turned off mic on that because we have mic in this. I will now turn this on so people know I'm not talking to myself.
You know, I probably should turn off my mic on OBS.
I
You can hear me through the game.
don't think they can hear you through the game because I can't hear myself through the game.
Okay.
So you're fine there. I need game capture on. And it needs... Oh, it figured it out. It figured it out. I'm now out of the water. I'm a good little otter. Are you out of your sandwich hell yet, Jam? We're doing this. Good. Sorry, I have pre-roll because I do not have automatic ad breaks enabled. Yes, the game window will be bigger when we're actually playing the game. This is my setup screen. We're getting set up. Give it a minute. It's how I welcome people in. This is my custom otter cave. I made it myself. You like it?
Okay.
Whoa.
For a second there, I was in a hell.
Really?
Where I pressed the join button on the shared chat.
Shared chat
And
moderator.
it opened up a pop-up.
Yeah, it's opened a bunch of crap very
And then I
quickly.
closed the pop-up. It goes back to that screen. And just repeat. Forever.
Take mod actions
I had to
against
reload
viewers in other channels using the shared chat. I could ban people for you. Wow. Okay. Who's the glorious man you're seeing? Who's the man? That's Liz. I like that the bald man on screen talks. Apparently Jam wants the bald man in the bedroom. Mason, don't. All right. Here we go. Boom.
Phone, you don't need to be making noise.
Okay. Somewhere around here, I think we can change how we look, and my cat will maybe stop clawing my leg. This isn't it.
Anders, don't say the N-word.
There is peanut butter. Liz, would you like some peanut butter? Oops.
Peanut butter seems like a poor choice for when you're on, mic.
Liz, do you want some peanut butter? Can I throw? No. No momentum carry.
Stop accusing me of being in your chat. I'm Justin fan. You don't know that's me.
It shows you right here.
Thank you for the
You have
resub.
no idea. I'm Justin fan.
I'm trying to figure out where the change how we look thing is, because I'm assuming we're both bald men. I don't think either of us are all that interested in being bald men. Look at this shop.
Found it.
Liz, can you walk? Like, is it just sinking weird? Like, are you actually moving around?
No, I'm not doing anything yet.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, okay, cool. I was just making sure it's working. Just making sure it's working. Okay, open shop. We got, we've got a few
My mouse needs
things.
to be more sensitive. Thank you.
We can change our costume color, but it's only red, yellow, blue, or white. So I guess I'll be blue. Gloves, you have to buy new gloves.
Oh, I don't have any money to buy pink.
Yeah, we gotta earn money to buy pink.
Doesn't have to be yellow.
Hats. We can earn hats.
My husband's favorite color, yellow.
So we can't hide our bald. We can't change our
Hi,
baldness,
Donnie.
but we can hide it.
I am now streaming. At least for today.
Perks are lost after dying.
Oh no.
Okay.
What kinds of hats are these? Oh, these are hats. I can't afford any hats. I don't have any money.
Mason loves piss. I'm learning a lot about your husband, and one of the things I'm learning is I'm not that interested in his and not safe for work conditions at this point in time.
You're right.
I don't want to draw piss. I mean, I will for enough money, but I don't want to.
Ghosts are vulnerable to light.
Info board. All ghosts are vulnerable to light. Keep your generator on and stay in the light to be safe. Be careful how many lights you turn on. Okay. $20 million. I will draw so much piss for $20 million. I will physically piss on my computer for $20 million. I can get a new one. I'll do it. I'll film it for you. I'll let you watch it come out the dick. For $20 million, you can get peed on personally. You can fly out. I will pee on you. $20 million, I'll pee on myself. Yeah, for $20. For 20 million, I'll drink yours. 20 million. Fucking, do you want me to eat your shit too? I'll do it for 20 million. I won't be happy, but I'll be content and admit, you know, I'll be like, this is one really bad day. But if I can just get through it, we have a lot of really good days. I'll be able to order. I won't be happy, but then I'll be happy. The generator's position is random every time. Tip number 1, don't die. Right click to zoom in. Do not press F4 while on duty. Oh.
That does.
Oh, Liz, you need to push F4. Look at me. Look right. Yep. Yeah. Well, you know what I have to say to that? Fuck you too.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, perfect game.
I've been pressing that button a lot.
That's a
I'll
good
be
button.
honest.
F3, thumbs down. F2, thumbs up. F1, hi. F5. F5 is this.
I'm not gonna press Alt first. That would be terrible.
Alt would be bad.
Oh, you're dancing.
Yeah. F5 is dance. F6 is the flattest ass you've ever seen twerk. F7's do 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 do. Oh, I can't do it in move. I'm sad. Do 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 do.
The Macarena.
Yep.
F9 doesn't do anything.
The fact our Macarenas aren't in sync is pretty bad. Hi Solar. So, well, I guess now I think we're trying to position this to look inappropriate, but mostly it just looks like I'm awkwardly humping her thigh. So, these bald men are horny. Okay, what was I doing? I was reading instructions. I'm sorry. The demon is very scary, and likes to jump out at you suddenly. Oh, good. We have the Phasmo tradition of I can see inside your head. It has a higher chance of causing jump scares when it is close. Make sure to keep the lights on to protect yourself from frightening surprises.
Did you know you're a hollow tube inside?
What? I'm a hollow tube inside. Not again.
Oh, I can see the back of your eyeballs. Beautiful.
The mannequin is fast but shy. If you look at her, she will go away. She moves quickly to surprise you. Use your light to find her, make her disappear. Okay, that old song and dance. Nice tits. Okay, tip number 2, do your job. Linda is fast and aggressive. Always monitor your lights and keep the generator running to avoid her. It is slower than any ghost, the experiment. He has the ability to blind the player he is chasing. That's so great. Tip 3, don't get scared. Now, it's not saying we can die, but just as we get jump scared, not that we get killed. All right, let's look at our map. Okay, where Ravenwood Manor is a grand house deep in the woods. Do not do both inside the lobby. Do not break the light. Do not play on hard. Liz, we can break the light. It says we can break the light. Okay. It is now dark and spooky. Oh, customize character. Liz, the mirror in the corner.
I can be not a bald man?
You can be one of the 2 genders, but you can't have a beard if you're a lady. There are 2 change beard buttons if you're a man. Oh, also you can completely block my view of myself, apparently. So that's cool. I guess only one person gets to do this at a time.
Oh. Beard button 1 changes the nature of the beard. Beard button 2 changes the color.
I see. I don't know what was loud. I'm sorry something's loud. I have to have the game loud enough you can hear Liz. It said not to turn off the lights and enter hard mode while in the lobby. So you know I kind of have to, right? But for now...
I don't think I want to have a beard. I'm going to be a lady.
This game contains no woke content. We're playing it. We're the content now, baby.
Nope, I'm going to be a dude.
Okay, be a dude. I don't care. Be whatever you want forever, Liz.
Okay, that's fun. I changed my gender, and it took away the beard option. And then I changed back to man, and it took away the beard option still. And now I have a beard option on the lady side.
You broke it. Good job.
I broke it.
Now your beard is blue.
Now my beard is blue. And I have to cycle
now,
through
if you
all
can
the
just make your
again.
guy pasty enough, he'll be like the trans flag colors. That's the opposite of what I meant. Oh man, you can't be a goth? What the hell? Are you... Oh. She froze up on Ultra Black. Nier Automata is... So here's the thing. They'd probably say it's not woke because they want to see her ass. But Yoko Taro does not fuck around. And there is technically a transgender character for the entire series. So, all right, let's see if I can save Liz from purgatory. I'll invite her to game again. Yes, Kitty Otter. And while she's in purgatory, I can become me. Why does it look like I'm actively crying? I can't get shimmer on my water in my cave, and yet I have the wettest eyes in the world. Okay, let's have hair. That's her hair. That is, every single strand is rendered hair. Well, I mean, at least it's kind of curly wavy. That's too much. Okay, I have one option that looks even remotely like me. Got it. That's typical. That is almost ginger brown. That is straight up ginger. That is blonde. That is platinum blonde. That is just grandma. And that is custom pinky purple. That's pink pink. Blue. Welcome back, Beard Man. I guess this one. This kind of works. Okay. And there's not much else to do. So there I am, I guess.
Okay, I need to restart my stream. I apparently exploded.
Yes, you seem to have exploded. I guess trying to give the lady a beard was too much for this game to handle.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Anyway, you figure that out. I'm going to sit over here with this delicious pizza, not being drunk as shit, and, okay. Options. Can I turn off hold? Head bob, invert, fine, whatever for now. If it bothers me, I'll change it. Controls, interact, tab is a slot. Nope. Alright. Damn it.
Okay.
There is no option to disable having to hold the damn button down, just so you know, for crouching and holding things.
Wow. Hate that.
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't be too relevant, but who knows? On that note,
All the way back to getting a pink beard.
I'm holding buttons. Does gamepad work on this fucking thing? Probably not. Oh, it does. It's just really slow. That is much easier for me, though. Okay, so what's grabbing things? If I let go of the button. Oh, okay. So
that it only needs to ping the people who have the role that I'm going to set up soon.
Sake of argument, I'm quickly testing gamepad because it's easier for me to hold keys that way with my little brain. So left trigger is crouch, right?
Right.
You have to hold left trigger to crouch. You have to use the right stick to look around. What do you think is the hold button, the hold item button that you have to keep pressed to hold an item?
R?
On
You're
a
on gamepad.
Not
A?
It is A, actually.
Good.
You have to hold A to carry an item, but then use the right stick to move your aim for where you want to put it.
Okay. I think this is me.
So, we're not doing gamepad, because that is, that's a nightmare. I'm just going to say that's a nightmare. We are not in voice chat. We are in game proximity chat, because voice chat kind of kills that entire idea. Personal opinion. So, this way, if something funny happens involving a proximity chat, we can do that. Sir, where were you on the night of January 6th? How much bloom can I apply to your sad little face? Now you're white as hell. There we go. Do some funky thing. I mean, yeah, there are funky girls. I haven't played Dark Souls 3. Thank you. I've never played.
I'm no longer in the
What?
no chat. That's why.
What we got for maps? What we got? We got Ravenwood Manor. We've got Crimsonwood House. We've got City Lights Villa. Villa? I don't know. Whatever. Redwood Manor is a grand house deep in the woods surrounded by tall mountains. The house looks a bit spooky and it's in the middle of a beautiful forest. Inside the house there are lots of fancy rooms and dark hallways to explore a white dot in the middle. Long ago, a chilling mystery unfolded within the walls of this manor. It is said that a family once dwelt here, but they vanished without a trace, leaving behind an unsettling sense of unease. Locals whisper of eerie apparitions and unexplained phenomena that have haunted Ravenwood Manor ever since. There is no baby mode. You can set the difficulty to random. Fun. Okay. Easy mode. 3 lights allowed. Ghost can't exit the house. Normal number of tasks. Normal ghost speed. Normal ghost spawn time. If no task was cleared for 2 minutes, a clue will appear. Okay. We're doing default. I'm gonna get some water. You get ready, and we'll go clean something. It'll be clean. Oh wait, I have soda still. I thought I was out. Never mind. I don't have to go anywhere. I gotta drink. Fuck you. Let's go. You good over there?
Trying to figure out how to turn shared chat back on.
Oh, did we break it?
I think it broke when my stream died.
Oh, you had like a full-on screw up. Okay, let me see what I can do. I will invite... Do not interrupt me again. That. Oh. Someone already performed that action.
I invited you.
Oh, okay. How do I acknowledge that? Start sharing chat. It doesn't acknowledge. I'm so confused. Click to accept. Why was it under that tab? You're already in collaboration. Yeah, leave and join this one. I hate you. Okay.
There we go.
I blocked my mic. You don't get my mic. Okay. Shared chat is on.
That's also me playing Mutagenics, my love.
Okay. I did it. I joined the thing. Now answer my question. Where were you on the night of January 6th? Hey, do you know F is flashlight in case you thought your friends are too dark-skinned? You're not racist. You just like them glowing. Oh, important thing over here. Liz got me Mutagenics for my birthday, but I'm working through Cult of the Lamb, but I'm only allowed to progress the story on stream because I'm afraid if I do it off stream, people will get mad at me. Oh, I can just hit a button and zoom. There's the second page. The nun is only visible when you're close. She moves slowly but charges quickly when hunting. Beware of her flicking lights, designed to trick you into thinking she's nearby. Don't look at it. And creepy Carl. Carl is just happy to see new people. He hasn't seen any in many years. He likes to carry an axe around because chopping wood and sometimes other things is his hobby. Thanks, creepy Carl. That's right, Mason. It's an anti-blackface flashlight. Ready up. There's a button. Where's the... oh. How do I say I'm ready? Do you have to be ready? Okay, you're ready. Oh, I have to click the button that says not ready to be ready. That makes sense.
True. Very intuitive. Now what?
I hit the button. No one will get mad if I advance the story of Cult of the Lamb without them. You're probably right. Everyone's played it already, so they're probably like, yeah, get on with it. Oh my god. Hey, there's F for flashlight, by the way.
Oh. I see our garbage truck.
Okay, so...
The first thing I'm gonna do is check if I can hide in it.
What you doing? Oh. Yeah, interacting with the truck leaves.
I can't hide in the truck.
No. The ghost will not come outside on easy mode. God damn it. I told you.
I found the little bitch button.
Yes, I tried to tell you. You found the little bitch button. Mason says this game looks fucking easy. I just like how when you spawn in, you're facing into the dark woods and there's jack all. Also, we're inside each other. Okay, we can wander off into the woods like normal people. Okay, so up here, we've got...
Garbage can. Oh, my hands are empty.
Can I drop an item? Because I accidentally grabbed 2 of the same thing. Run, interact, drop equipment, G. That's a choice. Okay, you want one of everything, I guess. So we want a mop and a broom.
I don't want 3 mops.
And a garbage bag. Our task list is to collect 4 bones, clean 6 blood, wipe water, and collect tarot cards. Alright. Now, one of the perks you can buy, but I do not like eat, interact. Oh my god. Okay. Well, that's not a tarot card. Now, when the ghost appears, there's supposed to be like a... Oh, hello!
Yeah, I saw a ghost.
I'm good.
Are you sure?
That one...
Is this right there? This little dude.
Yeah, I was just a little dude. I'm like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, giving me a shit in my pants, apparently. Alright. Hey, I found tarot cards. I picked up a tarot...
I'm here to fly.
Okay. Okay, we're in the light, so we should be relatively safe. But we can only have 3 lights on. That's what it said on easy mode. You have 3 lights on. This is a great painting.
Found some tarot cards on the floor. That's where those
Oh,
go.
I missed that. Alright, that's 2 then. Go us. Now, we don't clean up the broken plates.
You think this is supposed to look like that, or?
Yeah, I think it's creative choice. You know, sometimes when you're drawing someone's face, you just want to take your hand and just... Oh, ghost is here. Or did you turn off something?
I turned off my flashlight for a second there.
Oh, well, here, I turned a light on. Oh, it shows us how many lights are on the map, so we know when we're okay. Oh, here's one. Alright, that's 3 tarot cards. So when we're in the light, we're totally safe, it says, in theory. Back in the hallway. Okay. Well. What do we got over here? You used to... Alright, you do it. Thank you. Oh my god. I have to hold crouch. I have to... Saturn devouring her spaghetti. Yes. That's 4 tarot cards. We cannot hide in this, so don't even bother. Uh-oh, don't look over there. Don't look over there. Don't look behind us. This spooky bitch is waiting to jump scare somebody. Alright, if you look at his ankle, that's good enough. Just so you know.
Lovely.
And your entire chat will crap their pants, and your wife will have bad dreams, and everyone will hate you. So now you know. No pressure. This room is... boring.
No, so far I've not seen a lot of cleaning happening.
We now have a ghost in the house. We need to find the breaker, or we're going to get in trouble. Found bones. So, the gong means the ghost is here. An electric light keeps us safe, and otherwise we have to fucking run outside. Yes, I must sweep the bones. Uh-oh. I found her. I found her. She's on the stairs. She's not much of a mover. Oh, there she goes. My hands are full. I have to go to the trash bins outside. Okay. I'm running. I'm safe. Trash bins outside. My hands are empty.
Same.
Yes, Mason. When you experience Dong, it means you're haunted. I don't know if you heard, but we have to find the circuit breaker so we can have lights again. Lights keep us safe from ghost. I did see a ghost.
Oh, fuck.
Let me turn this down a little bit. So, how do we feel about the game volume?
What is this doing here?
Would have loved to give Granny some Ovaltine, but unfortunately, Granny, oh, we took too long to find an objective, so now it's showing us where they all are. Or it's showing me because I'm dead.
Oh, you died. That doesn't bode well for us.
No.
Wait, do I have to bring you a book to undie you? Is that what this is?
What Liz doesn't know is that when you lead the ghost right into your friend's body...
Maybe I burned the book?
Oh yeah, that's working. Yeah, cremate me. Oh, nice.
You need a big crucifix, a pile of candles, and a big book to start the ritual. Okay.
Alright. Alright. I don't think the crucifix is big enough. No. Bye.
Okay, well.
Went missing.
That went well.
What do you mean went missing? Our bodies are by the front door. Liz, we went missing. We both died in the opening hallway, but we went missing. Trust me, bro.
Oh, missing.
Yeah, missing. Totally missing. So what was that fucker? Not the experience. Was that Linda? Well, now it's the back of your head. I think that was Linda. Fast and aggressive. Always monitor your lights and keep... Okay, yeah, we need to find the generator.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Find the generator. That's what we need to do early.
Step 1.
We'll get this. We're smart. I will get Granny chalky milk when I'm good and fucking ready. Oh, okay. What if I just fucked off into the woods? Oh, cool, graves. They were all Smith. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave close at close of day. Rage, rage against the divine of the light. The wise men at their end know that is right. Dark is right. Because their words had forked no lightning? Forked no lightning? Do not go gentle into the good night. Okay, man. Oh boy, free spooky cellar. I've lost track of everything. Liz is fucked off into the woods. She's looking for Mothman. I'll never find her.
Zero lost me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a distinct lack of Philip Smith, though, so you're probably all right. Oh, you didn't go looking for Mothman. You're over here.
No, yeah. Gotta get voodoo dolls this time. That's fun.
They could do a sound or something for when he grabs shit. You know what I mean?
That'd be nice.
Oh my... Can you get someone else for once?
Immediately.
Okay, we need to find the generator. Or the... whatever. Garbage. Oh, there's my hand on the bottom right. Okay. I now understand. What is that? I found it! I found the Do we have walkie-talkies? Can you hear me? I'm not holding a clock. Now I am, bitch. He did get me got so good. He really did. It was deeply rude of him. And I hope he chokes. Oh good, we got like little ghost orbs floating around. How lovely. I'm not holding it. That's water? Sure, man. Oop, voodoo doll. Oop, voodoo doll. I guess I'll go dump my garbage while I'm at it. We gotta look at the walls and stuff too, so.
Oh man, my hand's full.
It's funny because like you know what they got on the asset store too. Cause you look at me and like my eyes are shiny as shit, but the water is just. I spilled clay on the ground.
Dog time.
Alright. Bitch guarded that circuit breaker, I tell you what.
Yeah, okay, I deserved that.
She got me while I was trying to turn the lights back on. I think it's safe to say that was the nun. You got nothing. Have you guys tried not sucking? Like, listen, man.
Yeah, I have tried not sucking.
Tip number one, don't die.
Blowing?
The nun is only visible when you're close. She moves slowly but charges quickly when hunting. Beware of her flickering lights, designed to trick you into thinking she's nearby. She was. She very much was. She was
is the thing.
I was. You have to hold E on the circuit breaker, by the way. You don't just tap it. You don't just tap.
Fun.
Does left click do anything? Does left click do a goddamn thing? Left click doesn't do shit. I'm turning interact to left mouse button. Fuck you. I'm done with that. I'm done with E. No. I have clipped through the board, but I am ready. E. Wait for it to go full Devil May Cry, be like, hey, this doesn't seem like it's working for you. Would you like bitch baby plays itself for you mode? Oh, see, that's much easier. I just click something. Seriously, give me any sound input. He's right there. You get him. You deal with him. Or not. Wow. Fucking asshole always hits me and then ignores her. I'm cleaning up feeds. We're looking around. I'm going to see if it's in the same spot it was last time. Devil May Cry does in fact do that. On the first game, if you die in the very first mission, it has to be like the first mission. Okay, it's not here this time. You die more than once in the first mission or something like that, it offers easy auto. Which basically the game does all its combos and everything for you. I played easy auto for a bit. It sucks. It feels like you're being like just carried. It basically says, hey, is the game too hard? It must be because you don't know how to hit buttons. It does it for you. And on top of that, the enemies are all scaled way the fuck down. So, it's just really, it's rude. Honestly, DMC1 just needs to fucking turn down some of the bullshit and it would be fine. It's just kind of very difficult in terms of like how much damage you take and shit. They could have easily just been like, yeah, you take a little bit less ouchie and it would have been perfectly serviceable easy mode. But that's my opinion, and I won't touch the game until I have a save state, so... Yeah.
The car was a lot faster than I thought it was gonna be.
I see. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hi. This guy likes red light, green light.
What's that mean?
I looked at him, he didn't come at me, I looked away, he did, but he only stopped when I was in the light. I don't know. I don't have the HD collection. I have the original PS2 release. I'm gonna turn this light off because I don't think it's useful for us at this point. I will turn one on upstairs, though. Shit! Bye! Ha! Bitch! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Copycat! Over here! Quick! Get in the light! Now what, bitch? Now what, bitch?
Motherfucker.
Oh, if I look away, it disappears. Okay. Yeah, this is where the circuit breaker is, so I just have this light on. This is it over here. It's really obvious once you see it. Big green light, big red light. I would try DMC1 under guidance or as the excuse of making content. I would not play it for fun. I broke a TV playing that game. Like, just the first Phantom fight. Not the second one. That one's fine. That one's easy. Just the first one. But yeah, if we take too long, a clue appears to show us where the objectives are so our dumbasses can find them.
Ah, pity timer.
Yeah. That is specifically because we're playing easy. And we can only have 3 lights, so when you're done in a room, we turn off that light and we move. So having some safe spaces is good. Maybe this is wise. Or we can just turn on a big one over here. Alright. Alright, we go to that light switch. You turn this off, and I'll turn that on. Ready? Do it! Wait, what? Shit.
No, not the generator.
Okay. What?
I turned open the door.
Alright. What's the spooky orb? Nothing. Oh!
Ah, bathroom.
I found feets, and I cleaned feets.
Nice.
That's clean.
Here we go.
What do got? A lot of nothing. Bathroom seems like a lot of nothing. Whoa. That's your footsteps. Okay. There's one. And cleaning so good. And I haven't even been jump scared in a couple seconds. I know. I know I'm asking for it, but I do. Oh, yep, there he was. On top of the fucking bookshelf. He's gone now. Spooky bitch. Spooky bitch. Get out of here, ghost. Get out of here, ghost. Alright, I'm thinking maybe go downstairs, check task list?
Yeah, it's probably worth doing.
Shit! He's on the stairs. He's doing a little crawly crawl down the stairs. Does not go faster if we both hit it, apparently. Oh my. Arm is asleep. Okay. Went down the stairs. Can we go down the stairs? We need to have the generator room on. That's our runaway too. At least he's slower than us for now. Make a bad dash for the door.
Yeah, that's my plan. I got cans to drop off.
What we got? There is one more bottle and 2 more windows we need to clean.
Cleaning windows. Okay.
Jam is impressed with how clean the rag is. No matter what I do, the rag stays clean. Okay, let's turn on, yeah, hall light. That's a good one. I tried to be thorough in here. I keep forgetting the windows. We can't go in here, so like, eh. Where's the bottles? Ah! It is a very white rag, isn't it? I've cleaned my first 25 trash. Imagine if I lived here. That's you. I hear Mises. Alright. So what, one more window somewhere?
There's a window.
That fucking dude. There you go. You got the window. Did you find the last bottle yet?
No.
Okay. Eye out for bottles. Gotta be somewhere. I don't see him here. Probably upstairs then. Okay. Oh. Their generator off again. Yup. Hi, dude.
Suppose so.
Hello. I mean, we could just bail and call it good because we missed the bottle and get some money.
I do.
Huh?
Yeah, that's better than dying.
It is better than dying. I say we do it. I don't want to, like, he's guarding. Let's just go. They can pick up their own fucking bottles. Give me money. Hey, there we go. No money. Not no money.
Money.
We'd both run to the shop. What can we do with 150 bucks?
Can't be
Jack.
pink yet, that's for sure.
Can't even get a nice hat. A nice normal hat. Limited edition. Can't even get a perk. Alright. Hi, are you looking for some nice good peanut butter and milk? And whatever's in these. Yummy. What, baby? Radio's quiet. Okay. Pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, shall we try again? We go to the same house?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. We're learning. We're learning. I think there's a whole third floor implied that we don't get to go to.
That's fine. We don't need
That. Give me that. Give me the back of Liz's
bones,
head.
blood, water, voodoo dolls.
No windows, huh? Alright, I am going to do the box scout. I'd like to know where it is.
That's the bomb.
No water. Lots of water. I wish I could turn that down. I wish I could just turn that down. No, I got jump scared. It's really loud. Everything else is like relatively quiet, and I want to hear Liz when she talks, but the jump scares are super fucking loud. Maybe. I'm looking upstairs. Over here again. Yes, okay. Same spot as last time. I am fine with that. Like that spot. It's a fine spot. I don't like that guy. Hear creepy creaking? I didn't do it.
I hear the ring girl.
Huh?
I hear the girl from the ring.
Oh, yeah. Well, one over here. What are we fucking dealing? I gotta take stuff outside, apparently. My hands are full of bone.
I got bones too.
That's what she said. Alright. Nope. 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 Nope.
Well, that was close.
Oh, good. It's just on the porch. Did it jump scare you?
No.
It only likes me.
Still need 2 bones, 3 bloods, and 2 voodoos.
Bloods are on the walls, voodoos wherever. Probably upstairs to him in that.
Creepy
see him.
motherfucker.
I fucking see him. I wanted to hit that light switch and he said, no. Oh no.
Oh no?
He disappeared the second he came in the light.
I did last time.
We need light on or him bad. Okay. One room One at a time. Nice and careful. Okay, I don't see anything in here. I just hear rats again. Is he whistling?
Might have been.
I don't think this man's my friend, Liz.
I don't think he is either.
He's behind you. Oh, fuck this.
Fuck.
Okay. The clue has appeared. Is your two dumb? Hello? There's a voodoo doll.
Ah.
Oh, there's blood.
Oh. Alright. Don't know why I didn't see that.
I didn't the first pass either. It was like me about to turn off the light. I turned around and saw it. Oh yeah, I found where the clue was pointing. Okay. Okay. That's another voodoo doll. How many dolls did you say we were missing?
I think it was just the two.
And then we need fuck.
Run, 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 run.
Oh. Have you checked that bathroom over there yet?
I did. Motherfucker.
So he comes near you, and then if you're in the light, you're safe, I think?
Seems like it.
Found bones.
Oh, shit.
What?
That means we just need one more bones.
We can go check in with the list if you'd like. Run, back to the light, back to the light. Oh, he gets bored and leaves. Bitch. Also, we gotta go downstairs. Bones. What do we got left? Oh my god, you're kidding me. We're sucking. Okay. I'd love to hit this light switch without that guy being in the fucking way. A clue has appeared.
It's true.
I don't see where, but alright. Oh, it's downstairs. What's the third light we have on? Is it it's the bathroom? I fixed it. Alright, downstairs. Record, if one of us dies and the other finds out, just leave. Just see what happens if we leave. Next room over.
Ah, fuck!
Alright. Nope. 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 Let's see what happens if someone leaves. Alright.
$50, even though I'm not the same employee.
So you got half. You got paid half. There's one of us got it. Okay. I am going to get water and try and plug in my headphones. I'll be right back. She's trying to sleep behind me, and this is not a quiet experience. Give me just a minute.
No.
Hi, Solar. Uh. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
As it should be.
Huh?
As it should be.
Ugh. All right. Apparently, groceries are on their way, so we're gonna have a grand old time. You know, we're still waiting for them to get here. Awesome. Ooh, for $250, I can get faster cleaning. For $200, I can carry the taskboard with me at all times and view it with, I believe, tab. Now, that power technician one actually seems kind of tempting, but I'm not going to spend all my money on it. Would you like to watch quality television with me?
Maybe.
Hold on, I got to put our third viewer here. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it great? It's time for the Phasmo test. Let's crouch and look up. Oh, nope, they actually have semi-reasonable animations.
This is bullshit.
Now, some of the weight paintings kind of... We let a machine do it, but hey. Seems very automated without much adjustment. Where should he be? Ready? To be honest, I don't remember the Macarena being this pelvic thrusting.
I mean, it certainly wasn't when they taught us in robotics, but, well, I don't think I really need to explain that sentence any further.
What you see in that TV, Liz? Have you looked at my part? It is extreme.
Is it? You're pretty bald.
It's kind of incredible. You want to try a different map, or you want to stick to the same one for now?
I'm down to try a different map.
Let's do Crimsonwood House. Spooky place hidden deep within a foggy forest. The house with its eerie exterior... Oh, groceries are coming. Sits amid a silent, misty woods. Inside, you'll find a maze of dark rooms and mysterious corridors. Watch out for ghostly apparitions and strange occurrences as you navigate the unsettling place. Inside the house, a murder shook the family to its core. Hidden secrets led to a deadly betrayal. In a dimly lit room, a sinister plan took shape, resulting in a gruesome and unsolved murder that hides in the manor's shadows. How specific?
That's neat. I don't see how that's my business, though. I'm just here to clean.
Oh, there's an invite friend button in here. I could have just done that. Oh. He just walked away. Where did this truck even get in here? Is there a road over here? Oh, yeah, technically. Briefly. Very briefly.
House, then a spooky house.
Said not to do that during a mission. Nothing happened. Grab.
Bottles, handprints, water, tarot cards.
Oh, if you do an emote, your flashlight goes away, just so you know. What's delayed? Groceries are delayed. Well, fuck them. Alright. Yeah, I can help you. Liz is dancing. She's got a second. She's got to get that energy out. Live her up before we have to run for ghosts. Jeez, flipping off the ghosts. Yeah. I think every game needs a flip off button.
I agree.
I think that's good button.
Especially Stardew Valley.
Started. Playing Stardew Valley and like Haley walks by, you're like, fuck you, Haley. What? Probably in his spot. Do you want me to find him? Okay. Oh, no. Not this spot. Ooh. Where is Milo hiding? Under desk? No. Back there? Oh. I saw Merlin there. I can cut it up and wash it. I'm busy. I understand. Busy right now. Yes. Okay. How's that middle finger stretch I'm working out for you?
I think it's stuck this way.
What?
You know how they say if you make that face too long, your face will get stuck that way?
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
It's gonna make work really awkward.
Have you tried this? Oh. What the hell? Is there a shadow of a person there, or am I crazy? I'm crazy. It's like the fog and the light playing weird. How much of the house can you scout? Not much. There's a bench in the way. Glowing orb. Light switch. I like that the light switches glow universally, in case you're an idiot and don't know what a light... Oh my god.
Oh, it's not evil for a second. I'm like, oh, is that a...
Oh, well, we got graveyards again.
I think it's all Smiths again?
No, this is David Brown, Thomas Murphy, Cray? I think it's Gray. Demi Gray. I can't read that one from here, but yeah.
Wow.
We can't go this way?
They died.
That's stupid. Alright. Whoa. Okay, what was that? Alright. I'm getting scared by nothing. Let's go. Well, it said you dicked around for too long. A hint has appeared, so have fun with that.
Too long dick. That's what my name is. High school.
Yummy. Hi. I am on a hunt. I were the fuse box. Ooh, spooky basement, you say? Hey, this was in the trailer. I saw someone's silhouette haunting the corners. Very good.
Generator? No?
No, that's not it. It's a big glowing green light. It's really obvious. You can clean down here. I'm gonna go. There's lots of stuff in here. I gotta go look for a fuse box. We're gonna be fucked. Fuse box. Fuse box. Fuse box? It's not a fuse box. A lot of stuff, not a fuse box. God, this place is filthy. Where's its fuse box? Fuse box! Found the fuse box. Everything is good. Already? Oh, Lizzie. Okay. Shit, is it that guy? I see. Right. So I have 3 lights on. Fuck you too, bitch!
Yeah.
What do you mean? Uh-huh.
Amazing. The demon? The experiment?
Was it the experiment, or was it?
No, I didn't go blind. It just was fast as fuck, boy.
Move for a sec. Don't. Well, that blocked my whole view. Wasn't creepy Carl.
I was looking directly at her when she killed me. So maybe it was Linda.
Might have been. It was very
It didn't look
tall.
like Linda.
Maybe it was the demon? Maybe the demon's just the guy that likes to make me spookied. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. We're learning. We're learning. It's fine. Someday we'll hit level 2. Can you imagine?
Maybe it was the don't look at it.
What?
Maybe it was the don't look at it.
I wasn't looking what it got me. I was running towards the light to be safe. I don't know. Whatever. Boop. Loading screen hit said something about a ghost being faster than usual. Mushrooms.
Sure.
What? Mushrooms. If we take these, we're gonna see some serious shit.
That's probably what happened the last time we were here.
Yeah, I mean, that might be what killed the family, let's be real. House is full of mushrooms.
bones, demonic symbols, water,
Okay.
pentagrams.
What?
I'm sorry, am I peeling the pentagram up off the floor?
Collect pentagram? Just pick them up. Just pick up the pentagrams, guys. Oh, hey, there's water.
Immediately.
Oh, I found the pentagram. You'll never spot it. It's upstairs. Oh, there's another one. All right. You go ahead. I'm going to keep looking for that fuse box because that keeps us alive. It's not in this hallway.
That's demonic symbol.
Ooh, painting alive. How fun. It's in the basement. Butcher knife.
I didn't like that. I did not like that. That was not great. Did not like that. One of these days I'm getting scared real good. You'll have to give me cough for like 30 seconds straight. Great.
Okay. I like that my view darkens sometimes when I'm just trying to do a job.
What now?
There. Go over here. I hear that noise building. Shit. 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 She was kind of between me and the fuse breaker, sorry.
Don't worry, I was looking for you, so.
Yeah, she's, the fuse breaker's in the basement.
We need one more bone, one more symbol, 2 more waters, and 6 more pentagrams.
Shit! 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 Alright, shit, the bone's right here. Okay. Safe room. I saw that. I don't like you.
That's how we feel.
Fuck. Oh, she is aggressive, man.
How many lights do we have on?
We have 3. And we get 3.
What's the third one? Where's the third one?
Behind us. Okay.
Linda, knock it the fuck off.
I don't know where the other light is. I know the basement one's on. Unless there's 2 down here. There is 2 down here. Oh. Oh. Oh, she follows us. Hey, you want to come over here? Yeah? Very cool. Interesting. Oh, she's fucking annoying. Okay. Alright, I don't know where you've been upstairs. Okay, I just saw a whole other ghost.
That's too many ghosts. I don't like that.
Yeah. It's like some lady with a black shroud over her head upstairs.
Oh, I saw her up there earlier too.
She's still there. She's just hanging out. Oh. Okay. Oh, my lights are off. Oh, my lights are off.
I don't like it. Gotta figure out where Sarah is.
I hear you.
Bitch going up the stairs.
I hear you. I don't see you. Good, great. Love that for us.
Come on, bitch.
Okay.
Riveting gameplay, I'm sure. I've got a clue up here.
Oh my god, it's downstairs.
More water to pour.
Nope.
Watch out. Hey, you lived.
Ooh. How are we doing? Water and put 3 pentagrams somewhere? Jesus,
Yep.
okay. I've tried to do good upstairs. Oh, turn the power off. Fuck. Nope.
There she is.
Did you know you can't run backwards?
I didn't know that. Oh,
Oh,
hello.
wow. Alright. Anything else super obvious here I missed?
Alright, I walked past it numerous times. Oh, I hear her coming.
Think. What are we even missing? Oh. Don't whisper at me. Whispering voices in the... Oh.
Fuck off!
Alright, I got a water.
Just stand there breathing, Linda.
I'm gonna turn this off now. Run. Alright. Is there anything in here? Yep.
Yep, you're right there.
Not a pentagram. Where was she?
She was right there on the end of the stairs. Don't mind her. Just breathing.
Alright, it's gotta be upstairs, because I think we've been... Try to be thorough over there. I don't know where I need to look. Oh, fuck that. Bitch, I'm getting tired of you. I think we're good. I think we're done here. Like, I'd love to res Lizzie. This bitch crazy, though. And I don't know where the rest of the crap is. There's one of each. Ah, fuck. There's the pentagram. Go. That's great. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, they're both in here. Awesome. Don't mind me. Here's a light. Using the light, I can cross it. Grab this. Okay. Did I do it? Hi, Lizzie.
Hello?
Welcome back. I don't know where the last thing is, but there's light over here if you want to hide and go look at the list. I did it.
This is a weird fucking job, man.
Huh?
This is a weird job, my friend.
Lights are off. We should leave. We're missing water somewhere, of all things.
Yeah.
Alright. We're gonna try to go upstairs. She's gonna charge us. Eventually it'll give us a clue where the water is. We're gonna feel stupid because it'll be like right in front of us. We'll be like, oh yeah. Which one bet's in that damn hallway? Ain't here. She's there though. Hi, honey.
Up there. up there somewhere.
Hey, look, your stuff you dropped is still here. Alright, I've wiped the puddle off the very porous floor. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Hello, down there.
Hell yeah. Fuck this
Hell
shit.
yeah.
We win. Oh boy, top viewers at streamboo.com.
Bitches ain't shit and they can't tell me nothing.
Aye. And we're still not level 2. But we do have $400.
Can't even get a hat for $400.
I could buy nothing of interest. I could buy
I could get Spooky Sprint,
basic ass gloves. What?
or we can get the 1.5 times stronger flashlight.
Stronger flashlight or move zoomies. Yeah.
It only took us all night to earn this money.
And if we die, we lose them.
Yay!
Doesn't say getting resurrected gives them back either. It just says you lose them. I will say this, I'm a little disappointed that if I yeet, it just drops.
Yeah, I want to kick it.
I'm gonna do lots of things. Alright, we beat that one. Do you think we can beat Ravenwood?
I think we can beat Raven.
Let's do it. Let's beat level 1 this time. We can do
Let's
that.
figure it out.
I don't think people like this game very much. I think we have a single viewer apiece.
Woohoo!
Yours might be your husband. I don't know. I can look probably.
I don't know.
Users in chat. Just me. Okay. Paper, blood, footsteps, and Ouija boards. Alright. Step 1, where is it?
Got it.
Oh, I'm stuck in a wall. Okay. Not in here this time. Come on. Oh yeah, things unmop themselves if you let go of the button, you see. Be upstairs somewhere. Yeah, usual spot. Okay. Hello.
Oh good, right, it's exactly where it should be. Uh-oh, just time.
Hi.
Hello, motherfucker.
I think you might be stuck on the door.
This room is underwhelming. Come on, there we go. I picked up some wad of trash I gotta take outside still, so. didn't do it.
I don't know why that had to have a sound effect. Oh, we found our footstep! Two more blood, two more paper, two more...
Someone else got spooked this time, not me. Uh-huh.
2 more bloods, 2 more papers, 4 more Ouijas. 4 more Ouijas.
Papers are, you gotta take them out one at a frickin' time. So I'm like, hello. How's it going, dude? All right.
I remember, like, sending to that guy's dog cake.
What's that one?
I will say...
I like that everyone gets the noise. That makes me feel slightly better. Somehow.
Never get out of here.
Dude, when did that table get knocked over? I don't remember that.
Fuck me. One paper, 1 Ouija, 2 blood.
As far as I can tell, downstairs is clear. He's on the stairs, though. See his ass moving down.
Come on, bud.
And the power's out.
Well, I feel less confident now.
Here he comes, and
Hopefully this is not right on the stairs.
hey,
Coming up the stairs.
fine. Oh, whispering going on.
That's a lot of whispering. Oh, I found the papers.
I love company. Hey, Ouija board. Meow.
Here's the blood.
Spiritual Ouija board. Oh, I didn't even see that.
I think we just need 1 more blood now.
Okay. I miss blood a lot. It can be anywhere. I have otherwise, not really, no. Oh, good, we got a whole other guy. Where's the fucking blood? Wait. Not it, not it. I'd be mad if it's on that frickin' the bottom of the stairway there. No. No. God.
Here you go.
Is it? that's a nice jump scare. Oh, hey, the clue appeared.
Okay, but where's that?
Well, good luck, Liz. How you doing, Spritzy? Been quiet. I don't think people like the scary loud jump scare game. It's weird, because that's usually the kind of content people go for. Oh, she's gonna have to leave this room eventually.
Come on, dude, I hear you.
Don't worry, my body just slid down the stairs. You don't trip over me.
Nope, that's the footprint. Blood. Yes.
On the light, Liz. Oh my god, no wonder I missed it. Get out, Liz. Oh my god.
Sorry, Sarah, I'm making a run for it.
That's fine. Go. Oh, it insults you.
Look.
That's cool. At least someone is getting things done. You want to say that
okay.
game? Groceries are on their way.
Yay,
I
groceries!
need $50 more to buy purple. It's very important. Or I could get a hat, I guess. To hide my horrendous bald spot. But the witch hat, ooh, I need $50 more for the witch hat. Yeah. Oh.
This witch hat?
Hey, at least we're having fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want peanut butter for dinner or bigger peanut butter for? Oh, it's about the same. Wait. Oh, well, it clipped out.
I'm gonna do
existence.
beer for dinner, thanks.
Or do you want the super-sized peanut butter for dinner? Clink. Bottoms up.
Cheers.
I love consuming peanut butter.
How long do you think these leftovers have been here?
Ah, yes, leftover thing from what is this brand? That really helped things, game. I can't read that. Is it Iron?
Yeah, I can't read that.
I want to flip off this bald patch on my head. This intense part. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you may be wondering, if she's flipping off me, who am I flipping off? Well, you see, it's a game about ghosts, so you put it together. Yeah. Anyway. Love your hat. Your hair clips through it slightly, just so you know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just, you know, game design. Oh yeah, have more hair. That'll really fix it.
Game design is my
It
passion.
looks like your hat's gonna have a little pube trail no matter what you do, unless you're full bald. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Your witchy treasure trail. What is hanging out the back of the hat? Is that just an iron? Is it a lunchbox? What is that?
I think it's supposed to be like a bell or something.
I
I don't know.
Jingle jangle, baby. Alright, I mean, we beat 2, right? We're doing good. City
Did we
lights.
unlock anything for hitting level 2?
Huh?
Did we unlock anything for hitting level 2?
No, we
City
don't
Lights
unlock.
Villa.
Level 3, we unlock the graveyard. Level 5, we get the laboratory. And then there's just random. City Lights Villa appears as a charming house nestled within... Is it Villa or Villa?
It's Villa.
Yeah. Friendly neighborhood, however, eerie occurrences within its walls tell a different tale. The house, once full of laughter, is now plagued by lingering spirits, whispering secrets of a sinister past. Well, we have heard some whispering. Decades ago, a well-known family lived in the villa. On the surface, they seemed like pillars of the community, but beneath their pleasant facade, they harbored dark secrets. One fateful night, a confrontation turned deadly, resulting in a murder that remains unsolved to this day. Ooh, riveting story. The villa's ghost continues to seek justice, hunting anyone who dares to enter. Alright. Who have we dealt with here? Probably the demon. I think the demon's just the jump scare ghost. Pretty sure we dealt with old Linda. I haven't seen the mannequin yet, have you?
I don't think so.
I can't, however, see deep into your ear canal.
Congratulations.
Hello? Your hair also clips through your ear.
Yeah, it tracks.
That's kind of amazing. See, I worry about the poly count on my shit, and then I see that the hair on this, and it's like 3 polygon, like 3 quads per strand. It seems like no optimization.
That's about right.
They geometry noted that shit and called it good. I think I worry too much.
Probably.
Alright. So yeah, until we hit level 3, this will be our 3rd and final available map.
Woo!
At which point the game's like, hey, you ready to try not easy mode? And we'll be like, yeah.
Girl, fuck you.
Alright, the hint I got is that the mannequin is shy of being watched. Stare at it to make it go away. On the garbage cans. Garbage cans!
How much do you think these people pay for in landscaping?
Computer. Ouija boards.
Is there a graveyard here?
A rose. Hey Liz, did you see their amazing flower bed? Look over here at this amazing flower bed. Found it.
All 2 flowers.
Yeah, you know.
I think they're supposed to be in here, and they just...
The 2 flowers you
Loaded
just
wrong.
keep on your lawn. Your very well mowed lawn. Yeah, this is how it works.
Great sounds for streaming. We love it.
They're pretty though. I do like the flower model. Getting around the rosy, pocket full of posy. Oh, you can go quite a ways over here, huh?
There's like no dead people here. I don't understand.
There's no dead people here?
The other 2 had graves.
I mean, I've never really heard of a haunted yard, to be fair. Which is a shame. Missed opportunity on the ghost part.
Boxes, symbols, water, Ouija board.
Lots of wiping. Okay. Wow.
Immediate Ouija board.
Oh my god, where do you think the thing is here? I went back to the front door. I'm a genius. Cool. Easy. By the door. That's good. We like that. We like that a lot. Tell 12 new bedroom hints. Ooh. 12 new bedroom hints. Ooh. I really liked that article, guys. Okay. Thank you, you found it.
Got me?
The
one
board,
got me
the circuit
real good.
breaker's in the kitchen over there.
Nice.
Oh, good. Spooky basement. Gotta have it. Oh! Okay.
Ghost time.
Great. So we've got a spooky nun. Really? Bitch, that is fucked. I don't like the nun.
No, me neither.
I don't like the nun at all. Damn. Okay.
I don't like that I was literally interacting with the breaker box when she killed me.
She spawned behind you.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is the whole idea of like, haha, she's behind you. Ooh. Like, uh-huh. Will you have time to turn it on?
I still have my hat though, so that's.
I know you do. Are they here, baby? I think the groceries are here, so give me just a moment.
Take a break.
Oh, stretch, get some water. Play some comforting screams. Right here. Have nothing to do with you. The storm is back, so we please have a city.
My blue sky wouldn't. It's gone. Okay, I need a new one. That's the wrong button. All right.
I'm here. I don't know.
Okay. So they keep throwing it. Lemons, frozen chicken base and pasta. For you. That's cheap. Look at that. Please. Love it. Get out of my way. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Doing it. I'm still in the deck. No. What's the problem? Very fine. Very fast. That is. Right, that's. Yes. Good morning. What are you worried about?
Hello, Nutmeg. Would you like to say something? Give me a big woof. You want to say hi? Give me a bigger woof than that. I know you can bark louder than that. A big woof. Here. Big woof. Yeah, good girl.
Right. What am I checking? Oh shit. Apple. Honey piss. Yeah, we're good. Blood. Okay. Yeah. What's up? Okay, say hi to Lys.
Hi, Lizzie.
Hello.
We got groceries.
Grocery time. That's more like this one.
Got lots of groceries.
Good. I'm glad you can afford groceries.
We got chicken wings.
Hell yeah. I got some of those in the freezer I gotta use up.
Yeah, we got the freezer pack, the big 8-pound bag. 15.
High five. Yeah, good job.
Get you anything. Take that. Want it? Cookie? Okay, have a cookie. Let's eat cookie. Bitches love cookies, right, Liz?
I do like cookies a lot.
You had the Safeway M&M cookies?
Safeway M&M cookies are so good.
Yeah.
Safeway cookies are so good.
We should figure
general.
out a imitation recipe for those. Yep.
I like the cowboy cookies too.
Live Bluff?
They have like chocolate chips and walnuts in them.
Uh,
They're pretty good.
There's my weakness. Not a big fan of nuts. Hi.
You can't see it, but I am raising my eyebrows.
Look, man. I stand by it. Ready when you are.
2 seconds.
I'm pissed how she killed me, by the way.
Same.
Apparently I'm level 2 now. There was 0 fanfare for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's slower than I expected. I was trying to loop her and she just did a 180 and grabbed me on the other side of the couch. I'm like, oh. Fuck you too.
Manually typing hashtags sucks. Okay. Okay. I'm ready.
So when you're in the light, the only thing the nun does is she fucks off.
Does nothing if I don't post. Oh,
Wally?
this sounds like something for the maintenance guy, not a janitor. Just saying.
What?
Wall leak sounds like maintenance guy, not janitor job. So this is bullshit.
Oh my god.
I need to turn my flashlight. Kind of a Yonic toy.
Normal things flying in the bathroom.
Some more bones. I have
Not in
to
the
go outside
kitchen.
before I do
Damn.
it.
Oh, I hate these things. I checked the basement.
Good news! The breaker is in the living room.
What? Oh. Wow, okay.
Right there.
What we watching? Debug mode, no signal. Wow.
Yonic toy.
At least 3 Yonic toys.
Excuse me, 2 Yonic toys and a bear. Wall. Gotta watch the wall. That's what this is. Okay. Bruh, I don't want to think about where that's coming from.
Good, it's ghost time.
Fuck me.
Hi, you lived.
Hi. Yeah, I made it to the actual light this time.
I heard fuck me and I expected the worst, I won't lie.
No, I just don't like being in the dark.
Mm.
I haven't seen wall leaks in here. Didn't know what they looked like before. No, okay.
Fucking God.
Not this bitch again.
I hate this bitch. She's annoying. I was in the middle of cleaning down here. I don't know if there's anything left or not.
There's a wall thing here.
That's a
shit
wall
stain.
leak? Okay.
Yep.
Sure, man.
Delightful, isn't it? Really makes you want to think about where the water's coming from. I think we're pretty good now.
Fuck. Really? Just immediate, huh? Just fucking immediate, huh? She's nearby. She's shitty. On the upside, we know the basement's done. Right? We know the book, we know the pentagram. Hi, bitch! Go away. For real right now. We completed anything. Nope. My hands are full. I don't know when I filled them. Off the 700 things in the way. It's lit. We have a lead. This game's trying to kill me. Trying to kill me. Fuck. What? Okay. Hook is right there. Unfortunately, so is she. Case in point. On. Give me the book. You slut. Go away. Run upstairs. This light. Go over here. Bam. We turn on this light. Fuck you. Mouse moves off. You're not counting really. That's all I'm gonna do. Bite you. I'll bite you. Give me back my Lizzie. Thank you. Good grief. How you doing?
I should be in the right window. I should probably get in the correct window now. You're right.
Welcome back to fucking Horrorland. It's a wide variety of awful toys, and I've found many of them. I hate this place, and I hate its stupid nun. Why is there a nun here? Sorry?
Turn out the light. Okay.
Was I?
A bone and 2 walls.
Hi again. Wait, can I not move? Oh, I meant the wrong button. Sorry, that was really funny. She was paused staring at me, so I flipped her off and she jump scared me.
Nice. We need a bones and 2 wall leaks.
I'm not good at spotting the wall. She's behind. Okay. I don't know where the wall leaks even are, honestly. I have a... I don't have a bone. I thought I had a bone on me. Did I get the bone by the bathroom upstairs where you were? Nope.
Man, that was just mean.
Obtained the bone. Fuck you, you dumb bitch ass fucking... I'm okay. Just need wall leaks. 2 wall leaks. Where the hell those are? A clue has appeared. Blessed day. Did you notice wall leaks in the... There's 2 in the bathroom. We're so stupid.
Oh, I don't have any tools. Amazing.
We're so stupid. We're double stupid.
Oh,
Mission fucking accomplished.
1 more wall leak?
No, I got them both. They're both in there.
Sick.
We're blind as shit.
Didn't know
I
what
just thought it was a
looking for
crusty
today.
ass bathroom. God, someone should call a janitor to deal with that.
Ooh. We did it.
Oh, all right. I mean, yes.
Yay. Now you can have a hat.
That Plague Doctor mask is real nice, too, I won't lie. But at the same time,
Now we're witches.
we're double witches. Who are cleaning to make ends meet. It's hard to be a witch right now.
That's true.
Yes, let me rub your head while you grind against me. Attaboy. All right.
Successful, job done.
Yeah. All right. So we're back on the first one. Do we want to try normal? Oh, we have an unlocked medium. We can only play easy. Slorp. It does not believe in
I
us.
guess that tracks.
It doesn't believe in us.
Do not break the light and do not play on hard. Well, we can't even access hard right now, game.
I know. Oh. The tall guy can also appear at other times with ghosts. Ghosts get faster and spawn
Yay.
earlier at higher difficulties. Hard mode is you get 1 light, 50% more tasks, faster ghost, faster spawn time, nightmare. Do what the orange sticky note says. 2 ghosts, increased jump scare rate, 30% faster ghost speed, 70% faster spawn time, and an achievement for living. You can also set your difficulty to random. You know, for the surprise. Alright. First map it is then. You know, the ready up board is nice, but it could use a little,
Little polish.
yeah. Yeah, a few things could. Like, I can see why it's reviewed pretty good, right? Like, it do be spooky, it do work.
It keeps getting me.
Huh?
It keeps getting me.
Yeah. At the same
It's
time,
better than I
like,
can say for Faz. Like, either I'm terrified in Faz, or I'm like terrified in hiding the truck, or
oh, hey, we'll never find the fuse box. It's a mystery.
we'll never find it.
Cleaning, 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 cleaning. I'm so good at cleaning. What's up, baby girl?
And you're so good at cleaning.
You laughed at me for cleaning?
And you're so good at cleaning.
There are so many bones in here. I'm polishing bones left and right. I can clean. I cleaned yesterday. I'll probably clean today. Why are you mad at me?
I just know who I married.
Wow. Could be worse. I could do what Mason does.
Jim to the mess.
Yeah. I could just dump a pile of things on your stuff.
No, you will not.
Like, oh, sorry, babe. You'll have to do that yourself if you want to use your pooter.
I would end you.
I would
I
understand.
would put a foot through your tablet.
Wow, and then we're really fucked. This house is messy.
When y'all gonna play?
I'll probably wrap up after a round or two. Crucifix upside down. I want that. I hear movement, it's not us.
I hear the ghost.
Oh, look, more bones.
Oh, there he is.
You got an axe?
You gotta ask
Who we
ask
got?
a question?
Oh, he's right there.
Oh, hey, it's you! Axe guy. He just wants to ask a question. It's got some right fucking here. Can you not with the hanging out right? Are you the demon? You're totes the demon. Nice titties. Bones are done. Fix upside down crosses. Mop footsteps. Collect voodoo dolls. All right. Bones are done.
Bones are done.
How many crosses do we have left?
I found one. It said we've done a few.
I found a couple.
Yeah, it looks like you found this one. I didn't do it. Haha.
One more cross, one more footstep, and a bunch of footsteps.
Time to go upstairs. Shit! Bro.
There he is. It's just vibing.
I flipped him off. I'm a good girl.
We need, I believe, one
Make
more
them
cross,
unmap.
one more other thing, and one more other thing. Oh, there's the footsteps moving. There's 2 of the voodoo dolls. We need like 6 voodoo dolls.
Why would they program the mechanic?
Need like 4 voodoo.
It's mostly for emoting with your friends, but it does say don't do this on missions specifically. Oh well. I was playing in the dark like a normal person.
I mean, I was too.
Do you see any spooky inverted demon crosses? Oh, I see a demon up there, but no. It went away. Yeah, that's just the demon that shows up in the corners and shit, and if you look at it, it jump scares you. What a bunch of fun whispers this room has. Oh, fuck. Hey, leave her alone. Oh, you deserve that finger. I'm doing it in real life. Fuck you. Oh. Damn, dude. You little bitch. Oh.
One more cross, 2 more dolls.
Casual demon hanging out. I see no crosses. I see no footsteps. I see no voodoo. This room sucks.
1 more cross, 2 more dolls.
Okay.
There's the cross. Didn't quite make it this far in before he fucking snuck up on me last time, so that makes sense.
I baited him off. He's here. Like, I screamed at him until he left you alone. I was pretty proud of that. Oh, fuck. Time for that part of the game where I don't know where we're missing what. Hello.
Got all the crosses, we just need the voodoo dolls.
Hello.
Come on, man.
Bye. Wrong button. Hi. Pikachu! I'm good. Oh, he's right there.
Hey, man.
I love his little shuffle, though.
Still just hiding out in there? Okay. Oh, gone now.
check that back bedroom, right?
There's a doll. Is that all the dolls?
I don't know, man.
Need one more doll.
Well, the clue's gonna show up soon, regardless, so... That goes away on normal
Wait
mode.
it out, right?
That's the one thing I like how easy, like, hey, you've been taking 20 years. Are you stupid? Here's where it is. Yeah, I think I am
yes,
stupid.
I am stupid.
I definitely benefit from "Are you stupid?" hints. Thank you. Not a back
Playing
on.
piano in there.
The doll. What are we missing? A doll? There's so many places to miss a doll.
Where the fuck could it possibly be?
Mr. Demon, are you guarding a doll? No, you don't seem to be. I guess it's Miss Demon. You did have tits. Oh, I don't know. I shouldn't assume. I mean, me of all people. Really should not. Alright. Aha! I got it! Found it!
Hell yeah.
Door slams in our face and we die.
No! Woohoo! We're level 3 now. I am anyway.
I'm not. No level 3 for me.
And I got $400.
Why purple gloves so expensive? Why navy so expensive? It's navy. Fucking common. Alright, whatever.
I just want to be that pink. It's gonna take me so long to get that. It's gonna take me
Alright. I got one more in me for now.
more.
Then I need to go
One
write
more?
our bi-weekly. And probably feed my wife.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Oh, I gotta feed my me.
Alright. You know what, Liz? Pick your favorite map.
That one.
I'm not even looking. Let's surprise me. Alright. It said the mannequin is shy of being watched. Look at it, make it go away. Now, every time it says that at the start of a match, you know what we get? Every
Nun?
fucking time it's giving me that hint, we've gotten the nun.
Alright.
So,
Trash, symbols, footsteps, voodoo dolls.
Oh yeah, I should actually look at what we need to do. I just kind of go in and hope I'll find things. Oh. Paused.
Should've just left those footsteps. Save them for the end.
I like that these are bright red and like emissive.
Yeah.
Step one, I should really focus on finding the fuse box. Oh, okay.
I wish this door opened inward.
Did you get pinned to the wall? I'm supposed to be excited when that happens, but not in this. Not in this. Damn it! I thought you were a piece of wood.
Oh, good. Breaker's is right there again. Nice.
Fuck it, I'm awake.
No, that's some sort of burn.
It's gotta be about time for it to start, right? Oh, it's you. Hi.
Did you also hear him say hi?
Yes. Yes, I'm trying to figure out if that was the ghost or if it was the demon that jumped me.
I think it was the demon that jumped us.
Rude.
By us, I mean you.
Very funny, but rude. Oh, hello. Oh, it's you again. Alright, you want to come run into the light? Yeah? Come on. Atta buddy. He's a good boy. Oh, I gotta take trash out again. Oh, this bathroom sucks. Hey Liz, do you have free hand? Garbo in here, and I don't have what you call it? Hand. God, I'm good at talking.
Real time?
Hi. There's a garbage in the upstairs bathroom, but my hands are full of other garbage.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll get that. Got it.
Is that all that's left?
I don't know.
Awesome.
Track, symbol, footsteps.
It's got one of everything left.
Really?
Pearl, get out of here. One less demonic symbol, so it's one of everything but that.
Crash. Footsteps. Voodoo dolls. Really? Really? Where would I miss a fucking footstep? Oh, there's a voodoo doll. Voodoo doll's done.
Alright, just got footsteps and trash left, unless you have the trash. Carl, we can fucking hear you. Come on, dude.
We have the trash up here. Yeah, and there's a demon. Okay, do we have anything over here? No.
Alright, I got the footsteps.
What?
I got the footsteps.
You found the footsteps?
Yes.
Okay.
We just need trash.
Let's need trash. Alright, man.
Get out of my life.
What? Is that you?
No. Oh, something appearing in there with me.
Oh, is it the demon lady?
Probably.
I've checked this room 3 times, so watch it be in there. I'm gonna triple check the bathroom, I guess.
Yeah, not.
Like, there's the trash
More
here.
trash
It's
in the
gone.
bathroom.
I don't see another
took that
one. This makes me feel much better about my water shader, I'll tell you what.
It's gotta be on the bottom floor of
It's
that.
gotta be downstairs, right?
Right. Like,
We've been on this back. Oh! Alright. It's just kind of going over there.
my car. Oh.
Let's see you're on side. Oops, that'd be terrible. Whoa! Get it. Oh shit! Run! Run! Run!
That was fun.
Oh, it's the one sitting out here.
Just need one more trash.
A clue has appeared. It is
Oh my God,
upstairs
it's up there.
somewhere. I have to see where. I have to. Where? Where the fuck is it?
Oh, what's wrong with
Really?
this fucking box?
Whatever. Okay.
I think that's bullshit.
That's GTF. Oh, even. I saw a shotgun on the walls. I got a new idea of the ghost. Hercules. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I'm halfway to being pink.
I'm level 3 now. I have $500 again.
Woohoo!
Let's waste it. No, I need 600 to be purple. Damn it. Pink is expensive? What the fuck? It's just red that's been bleached. Alright, damn. I'm assuming the perks are much more affordable as you go. And yeah, let's be real. This is the best thing the game has going for it right here. I love the creative directions it takes my butt crack when the lighting hits it right. On the somewhat cel-shaded suits that we're wearing. But I think what we can agree on here, right? As closing thoughts. Game do make jump. Game also proves that Phasmophobia needs this. It just needs this. Like, yeah. Fuck you. No. Fuck you. Hello. Fuck you. Dance time. Like, the character rigs are a little noodly. The weighting's kind of off, but...
Just a little bit.
Not everyone's a weight painter. People notoriously hate doing it, so if it looks good enough, they're usually gonna be like, yeah, alright. This clearly was it looks good enough. But on the real upside is I blocked my bald spot, so... Yeah. These fingers are going places. Wow. Oh my god, look at the fingers on the thumbs down, though. Fingers are hard. Like your mom's penis. Goodbye! I have fun.